programs. Welcome back to ArcNeo Reviews. Welcome back to yet further Beast Machines basic class figures. Today, we're looking at easily the second worst figure, at least in this kind of sub-line that I own, and that is Quickstrike. This figure, I don't have a lot good to say about it, which is a bummer, because there's actually a lot of ways in which this figure should work for me, and it just doesn't. So, as you can see, his beast mode is this mangled looking... Apparently this is supposed to be a wolf, as I understand. It looks more like a hyena, if anything, but it doesn't really look like anything. The proportions on this are bizarre as heck. And obviously I'm never too big of a fan of pinned clear plastic, but credit where it's due. So far these pin joints seem to have held up just fine. And as far as I can tell, no, this is not gold plastic, so I guess there's not too much risk of this guy shattering one day while standing on a shelf untouched. But yeah, this is a mess. This thing is an absolute mess. It is fairly posable, though. The head is on a ball joint, so you get, different looking around angles and stuff. The mouth can open as well. I'll give it credit there. Legs are on a ball joint, which is limited, but they can go forward and back, at least in this mode. We've got limited little elbow there, and the ankle tilt at the paw. Kind of the same deal at the back here. You've got a pin right there, and then a ball joint right there. So you've got two joints right beside each other, a little in and out, a little rotation, paw joint. You can kind of move the tail around, which, spoiler, is moving the head sticking out of his butt. Yeah. But it works for what it is, I guess. My main issue with this is just kind of the proportions and stuff. I feel like they could have reworked these legs in particular, make them a little more posable, and shift where this knee joint is up a little bit. I feel like that could have made it work at least a little better. Maybe put a joint right there or something. But it ends up just at all... for something that's meant to be a wolf, this really does look like just a startled cat. That is what this looks like. It's a startled house cat. So, let's go ahead, get it transformed. Transformation on him is at least a little interesting, I'll give him that. Go ahead, point these legs straight down like that. And on this hinge right here, go ahead and rotate these legs down. And they will, unfortunately no tabs or anything, it just kind of, stopping points and hopes it stays in there. You're going to go ahead and take this section here, fold this out, grab right here behind the head, and slide this whole section down. Fold the head up into that little new chest cavity. Obviously, his spark crystal is hiding on his spine, which is creepy. Close the chest up, and spin the hips around. And there you've got Quickstrike in his beast mode. Or robot mode, I guess. And here's where my problem with this figure comes through. This is almost good. I will almost give this points. By the way, you're supposed to fold these paws up like this. And that leads to the first problem is, I'm used to beast machines. I'm used to, quote-unquote, no real hands syndrome. What is this supposed to be? Like, if you look at it from the right angles, it almost looks like someone with, just really oversized hands making a fist. And I could live with that. Except it only looks like that because you're looking at this through the camera. Like, if I look at my viewfinder, aka the screen of my phone, it looks like he's got a fist. It kind of works. When you look at it in person, you're like, there's a hand paddle folded back. It does not work. It looks bad. The only place I can give this guy some credit is the head sculpt. The head sculpt, I think, is pretty neat. Because it's very reminiscent of the really, really old, I want to say Lon Chaney Jr. Wolfman. And that's a really good callback. That part I like. But the rest ends up being just bad. There's no way around it. It's bad. You still have a ball joint here for this head that you were using to move the tail earlier, which means he has this ridiculous giant, ponytail thing going off the back of his head. Why couldn't this come out and be a sword, and then you let these paws fold up further and, there be a hand here? I don't know. But, yeah, so problem A is that. But, you've got the head movement at least. It's fairly articulated. Ball joint in the shoulder. Clear plastic ball joint, but, again, this is a 20-year-old figure. This seems to have held up, so I'm not going to complain. Pretty good range of motion on it. You get a weird pseudo double elbow. So, good range of motion there. I will definitely give that. You can unfold the paw if you want and, turn the arm so that he's doing this. No. And no, it doesn't work better if you turn it the normal way either. It just doesn't work no matter which way you turn it. Due to his transformation, you do end up with waist rotation. A point there. Legs are freed up a lot more here to move, so you get forward, back, outward. No real rotation to speak of. Then the same, kind of weird backwards knee joints and the paw. Same as the beast mode. Also, he does have a gimmick in this mode. A little lever right here on his arm will flip out this blade. Again, makes me wish they had... Because, last figure we looked at, Longhorn here, not great. But you can see where they still molded in a hand to try and hide the fact that it's just blatantly the beast leg at a slightly different angle. If they had done just a little bit of that here, this guy would have worked so much better. Because that way at least this mode would look cohesive. This mode ruins the beast mode because it gives the beast mode these bizarre, like I said, startled cat proportions. But if we could at least have a solid robot mode, I'd let it go. At the end of the day, the only true positive I have to give this guy is the head. I like the classic, Universal Wolfman head sculpt. That part is neat. Nothing else on this guy is neat, unfortunately. And yes, this... funny enough, the only loose ball joint on him is the one that's not using clear plastic. But... it's weird to say, but this is a figure that I really wish they would somehow do another version of. I know the chances of it happening are non-existent. But with modern engineering, a few slightly less bad choices made, this could be something really, really cool. Instead, it's a very failed attempt, in my opinion, with an awesome callback head sculpt. So, this figure in no way do I give a recommendation beyond the standard. If you see it and think you'll like it, that clearly that always applies. It shouldn't need mentioned at this point. I'll say it for the new people though. But yeah, as for a personal recommendation, I think you should go get this for your collection. No. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. And oh boy, will I see you next time.